Hi guys, it's Jackie M from Masters of Malaysian Cuisine. I hope you can hear me okay. Make sure you say hello and let us know where you're watching from. We are doing a special marathon broadcast and the theme is Chinese New Year for those of you who are celebrating Kong Hei Fa Cai or Kongsi Fa Cai. So we've called this series Kongsi Kongsi, which is a carryover from our last year's series. And by the way, guys, can I get everyone to do us a favor? Would you be able to share this out to everyone? Because what happened was that I emailed our entire database with our link to watch it on Facebook. And then right before we went live, we had some technical issues and we had to delete that link and create a new link. So everyone who got my email, everyone who saw my social media shares about where to watch this session, will not be able to watch it essentially. So if you don't mind just helping us share the word that you can watch it on Facebook and on YouTube, and also obviously on our homepage, which is malaysianchefs.com. But anyway, yeah, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We've got an incredible lineup all set for you. And of course, I have my co-founder of Masters of Malaysian Cuisine, Paul Gray, with us.
Hi, good to be here. Excited.
Paul is based in South Africa, for those of you who don't know, and you can post your tips on what Chinese New Year is like in Malaysia for Paul Gray's benefit for those of you who are very into Chinese New Year. And I keep telling everyone, one of the things that I really, really miss about growing up in Malaysia now that I live overseas is missing all the big festivals that we used to enjoy in Malaysia. Hey, Enkun, how are you? Happy New Year. Good to see you. Happy Lunar New Year. Yeah. And that's one thing as well. In Malaysia, we call it Chinese New Year because Malaysia is essentially made up of like the Malays, the Chinese, and the Indians, right? So to us, we call it Chinese New Year because it's the Chinese people in Malaysia who celebrate it. But for some people around the world, they call it Lunar New Year, because it's not just the Chinese who actually celebrate this. Okay, I think I can hear my fridge beeping. That's Noah. Okay, anyway, Paul, talk for a couple of seconds while I go and fix up my fridge.
Sure, I'll pretend like I know what's going on, but more than anything, I was going to say I'm really excited for this because I haven't been able to experience like a proper Chinese New Year. Like my story is there's only really one place in South Africa that you can really celebrate Chinese New Year, which is a Buddhist temple just outside of like the capital city. And every year I miss it because either I'm out of the country or I'm far away or whatever. So one of these days I have to be in Malaysia when Chinese New Year is happening.
Okay, cool. Guys, like I said, we have a great lineup all set up for you. We've got people like Lisa Yo and her sister Lin Yo, who's based in Malaysia. Lisa's based in Germany. We've got Rosita Heilig, and she's with a friend, Michelle, who's going to be showing us their cooking demo today. And you've got yours truly. I'm doing 2 dishes. And we've got Liam Ghani over in South Africa, representing the African continent. And then we have Elias Muhammad representing the Netherlands, and Salsabila Abbas also representing the Netherlands. So we're very excited with all these Chinese New Year dishes. If you've got a favorite Chinese New Year dish, let us know what it is. And we're going to be covering, for those of you who don't know, I see that asked quite a lot, Paul, about what sort of, hey Nasha, good to see you. What sort of food do people eat at Chinese New Year, right? And you know what is interesting? Nowadays, when I see people post food photos for Chinese New Year, what they eat like stuff like rendang and satay and nasi lemak. But that's I guess it's a very modern celebration, okay? But back in the day, if you're very traditionally Chinese, hey Bob, how are you? Good to see you. Tell us what you guys eat for Chinese New Year, okay? But if you grew up Chinese like I did, our Chinese New Year celebrations tended to focus on very specific dishes, and they all have like layers of meaning behind them, some of which were oblivious to me as a kid growing up, but some you kind of like know. So the Chinese New Year, the greeting that we say is Gong Hei Fa Cai in Cantonese, which means, may may everyone be prosperous. Okay, so there's a whole theme of prosperity and a whole theme of like happiness and good luck and all that. So there are lots and lots of I guess practices, traditions, and some superstitious beliefs. I mean, I'm sorry if I offend anyone, but some beliefs as well that basically affect the kind of food that you serve at Chinese New Year. Okay, so as a kid, we didn't eat satay for Chinese New Year, Paul. We ate like very, very specific Chinese dishes, and like I said, they all mean something. Okay, now some of the things that we eat a lot of are a lot of seafood. And they're cooked Chinese style, right? So they're not kind of like ikan bakar or anything like that, grilled fish. They tend to be cooked Chinese style, and they'll eat noodles. Noodles symbolize like longevity, like long life.
I was gonna say, I know
yeah,
that
long
noodles.
noodles.
Long. You can't cut your noodles.
yeah, that's right. And the different colors. Red symbolizes prosperity, symbolizes luck, of good fortune, and yellow symbolizes gold, which is like prosperity. That's why they give out mandarins and all that over Chinese New Year, okay? Because they look like the word for mandarin is gum, which sounds like gold. Okay, Chinese are big on like how words sound and also their follow-on meaning. Okay, so these are just some of the things that we're going to be featuring today, and we're going to start off. We're going to kick off with one of my sessions, which I pre-recorded because I'm busy dealing with Noah. For those of you who don't know, I've got a special needs kid, and he's around, so it's going to be a little bit interesting to see how he copes with this. But Paul, if you don't mind just lining up our first video, which is going to be my, this is a very easy dish to make, by the way, guys. Anyone should be able to try this. And this is going to be a prawn dish using mung bean threads, okay? Mung bean threads, they look like vermicelli, but they're a lot softer and silkier. They're delicious. And you can make this dish in 10 minutes flat. And I just made it this afternoon. It's so delicious. You have to try it. And it is steamed prawns with mung bean threads and lots of garlic. Okay, so if you don't mind, Paul, if you can take it away.
Ready? That looks good. Okay.
Okay, let's make this.
Good luck. Enjoy, everyone.
Okay, so in this particular segment, we're going to make a really easy dish, which is very Chinese and, in my opinion, very suitable for Chinese New Year. And the ingredients are pretty straightforward. So let me just quickly switch this. Okay, here we go. Okay, so the ingredients are prawns. Okay, prawns are always a good option when you're cooking for Chinese New Year. And these are tiger prawns I just bought yesterday. And then you want some garlic. Okay, I've got some minced garlic here, minced fresh garlic. You want some mung bean noodles, okay? Now, these look like rice noodles. They look like rice vermicelli, but they're not. They're mung bean noodles. And this is what they look like, okay? Obviously, lots of different brands available. What we're going to do now, we're going to actually start by soaking the mung bean noodles in some, I'm going to use some warm water on this, okay? Okay, a couple of packets of mung bean noodles, and throw some water in. And you know what? I think I left my kettle over there, back in the sink. So I'm trying some freshly boiled hot water here, just to speed things up a little bit. So take a few minutes to soften down. I'm going to put it aside. Now, I'm using a new ingredient today. This is actually abalone sauce, okay? Now, usually you would use oyster sauce. You can use oyster sauce if you want. I actually ran out of oyster sauce. And then I remembered some people sent me some abalone sauce, which is, let me just find it. Okay, the brand is Kongsi, and it's from Australia, abalone sauce. And these were sent out to me by my friend Alex from My Blue Tea, and you can pick these up from her, or you can pick them up if you're in Melbourne from Lion City Groceries, okay, Lion City Asian Groceries. We'll post all the details on the screen in a bit, okay, but abalone sauce. Now, abalone sauce, you use it like oyster sauce, but this is like a premium product. And they actually sent me out some other iterations of this as well. There's abalone hot chili sauce, sweet chili sauce, mild chili sauce, okay? I'm not getting paid to promote these. I just happen to find them and I think they're a pretty swell product. So we're going to use this today, but obviously, like I said, if you only have oyster sauce on hand, use that, that's totally fine. Okay, so we got the prawns, we've got the sauce, and I don't have any soy sauce on hand either. I'm going to use a little bit of fish sauce. And I want to use some Chinese wine, optional. Okay, a lot of the time I don't. A little bit of sugar, and a bit of chicken powder, and a bit of white pepper. Okay, so those are the ingredients you want. Oh, I'm going to throw in some some sesame oil as well. And we've got some spring onion here that we're going to chop up. Okay, so first of all, you know what? Okay. This is what I'm steaming this in, okay? I'm gonna put everything in here. I'm gonna steam this here. So give me a couple of seconds while I fill this up with water and put it on the stove in my real kitchen, okay? So while that's cooking away, what we're going to do, we're going to split the prawns. If you're Chinese, or in fact you're Asian, generally, you know, you're not as averse to eating prawns on the shell as your average Aussie maybe. But we're going to split them down the middle just to make them easier to peel, okay? There we go. Okay. So what we're going to do, use scissors, and where is my knife? Grab a knife. So now you can use a knife to split this, okay? Or if you prefer, you can use scissors. Scissors, you might have trouble cutting it nicely, okay? So that's how it looks. And let's cut the heads as well. Okay, you got the bigger the better with these prawns, okay? So we're just using dinky little ones here. No, they're not that small, they're decent. And if there's a vein in the middle, just pull it out, of course. The black vein, the green vein can stay in. The green/orange vein stay in. The black vein comes out, okay? These are actually clean, so. Watch your fingers when you do this. So the idea is just kind of like split them down so that they can lie flat like this, okay? And if you're Asian, you'll know that the flavor is in the heads and in the shell and all that, okay? So And also, we buy our shellfish raw. We don't buy them pre-cooked because to me, if it's been cooked, all the flavor is gone and all you're eating is just something rubbery that's generally flavorless, okay? So just do this with all of them. Okay, so what we're going to do now, get these noodles, I'm going to line them on this bowl. Okay, it's a fair bit here, you probably don't need all of it, but I'm just going to use it all. Line these prawns on the noodles. Okay, that should do it. Okay, what we're going to do now is make the sauce for this. Sauce, I'm going to use a bit of oil and we're going to sizzle some of the garlic a little bit. Don't be shy with the garlic. So you don't want to like burn the garlic, you don't want to fry it till it's crispy because we're going to separately make some crispy garlic after this, okay? All you want to do is just kind of like cook it a little bit because raw garlic, if you steam it, I tend to find it can be a little bit, you know, sometimes a little bit sharp, a little bit bitter, okay? So that all you're doing is just pulling out some of that raw flavor, okay? Okay, now you can add the sauces. If you're using wine, you can add a bit of wine to it. And use your oyster sauce slash abalone sauce. Soy sauce, but I say I'm using a touch of fish sauce instead of soy sauce. And I'm adding a bit of pepper, touch of sugar, The sugar is again optional, like different brands of oyster sauce or abalone sauce will have different nuances to them, okay? So you may not need it. Touch of chicken powder or MSG if you like. Sizzle, sizzle. I'm going to add a dash of sesame oil. A bit of water. The water is to help like kind of to get soaked into the noodles, okay? Taste good. Good. More fish sauce / soy sauce. Okay, so that's all you want to do with that. And this, let me just kind of like flatten this out a little bit better. And if you want to pretty up your prawns, right, you can cut off the tip of the head sort of thing so that they look like they've got like a square edge, okay? Okay. Okay, so let's flatten this out, flatten it out, flatten it out. Okay, now what we're going to do is get the sauce over everything. Okay. We're going to steam this for just a few minutes, okay? I'll come back in a second. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to fry up some garlic crisps. A bit of oil in here. Bit of garlic. While that's cooking, we're going to chop up some spring onion. Stop. Okay, we're going to turn off the heat because the oil is still hot. It's going to keep browning the garlic a little bit. Let's check on the prawns. So there you go, after 6 minutes, actually just under 6 minutes. Okay, what we're gonna do is drizzle some crispy onion over this. Crispy garlic. Along with the fried, along with the spring onion. There you go. There you go. So really simple dish, and we would eat this with rice, okay, in spite of the fact that there are some mung bean threads in here. It's a dish that you would serve with some steamed rice, and it's a very Chinese New Year. It uses prawns, classic Chinese flavors with the oyster sauce or abalone sauce. Abalone sauce tends to be like the scaled up version of oyster sauce, okay? You use it on special occasions for dishes that you really want to impress people with, okay? So have a go at making this, and 恭喜發財 for those of you who speak Cantonese. 恭喜發財 if you're Hakka like me, and 恭喜發財 if you're a Mandarin speaker, and I'll see you next time.
You're muted.
So there you go. That's our first session. That's the prawn dish. And Paul, what do you think?
I think it looks really cool. Like, I'm a big fan of mung bean noodles, so the fact that
Can you get a hold of it?
Yeah. It's not too tricky. Well, actually, I say that now, although it was a couple of years I used to buy them, so maybe now it's probably harder, but it should be pretty easy to get.
Yeah. No, it's great. I love it. And by the way, guys, sorry about that prolonged bit off camera where I was like filling up the water in the pot and whatever. Yeah.
I didn't notice it this morning.
Yeah, I think like I rushed Paul to get this all done up and stuff like that, so it was sort of missed. And now, Paul, about Chinese New Year dishes, like I said, prawns are a big thing, and the other thing that we use a lot of are other seafood. Okay, so crab and that sort of stuff, and usually I would do some crab dishes, but today we're going to, my next session, I'm going to do a squid dish, but this particular recipe, if you do have crab at home, works really well with crab, and also it works really well with prawns as well. And what it is, and it's again very simple to do, okay? And what it is, this is actually salt and pepper squid. Okay, now I want to mention for this particular session with the salt and pepper, I will actually cover it during the cooking. Again, I pre-recorded it, so because I've got Noah here, it's a bit hard to cook when he's running around and demanding dinner. But as far as the as far as the salt and pepper, usually not always, the Chinese restaurants will also add some 5-spice powder. And there was actually one guy that I learned from online. He owns a Chinese eatery in the UK, and he's Chinese. What he does is he actually roasts the salt in a wok, and then he lets it cool down and adds some sugar and some 5-spice powder to it, and just mixes it up and then puts it in his pantry, okay? So I actually did some of that before this session, and I'm going to use a little bit of that, but primarily just assume that you don't need it, okay? But anyway, let's play that. Paul, if you don't mind lining that up. And
cool. It's on its way.
Okay, great.
Are you
and
ready?
We'll see you back here in a bit. Yes. Okay, so what we're going to make is salt and pepper squid. Now you can use prawns. In fact, it's more commonly made with prawns, but you can use squid as well. I happen to have some squid on hand. And this, again, is a very typical Chinese New Year dish, okay? What I'm going to do is just, I've pre-recorded the segment, so I'm going to talk through how I prepared it, okay? So let's line this up. Okay, so here we go. I've got the squid, they're cut pineapple style, and what I did actually, I seasoned it with some seafood stock, just to give it a little bit more flavor, because squid has like that kind of like really dense, non-porous texture, so I wanted to get as much flavor as possible, and just sprinkled a little bit of sugar over it. In the meantime, I've got some oil that I'm heating up. I'm going to flash fry these squid pieces, okay? And I'm using a little bit of chicken powder. You can use salt instead if you like. Now, what's not shown on camera is I actually have on hand some, that's a little bit of white pepper. What I have on hand in my pantry is some fried up, like some roasted salt that's got some sugar in it, and also a little bit of 5-spice powder, okay? This is something that I learned from another chef online, but it's not necessary. I don't think most restaurants that do salt and pepper squid actually have roasted salt, okay? But it seems kind of cute. I've put a little bit of Chinese wine in it as well, cooking wine, and that's again optional, okay? And then what you want to do is just drench this in cornstarch or tapioca starch, and then we're just gonna quickly flash fry this. And I added an egg in it as well, I think from memory. Okay, it just helps everything to just kind of like bind together better. So I've got the oil going, it's just heating up. And again, like I said, you can use prawns, you can even, if you're vegetarian, you can use mushrooms, or sometimes you get salt and pepper crab as well, which is really, really nice. Okay, yeah, so in goes the egg, and you know what, I bought some salted egg yolk powder. I didn't think you could get it in Australia. I came across it in the grocery store and bought it. Haven't really used it that much, right? But I decided to sprinkle some salted egg yolk powder in there as well, but that's just for fun, okay? It's not something that would typically go into this recipe. So that's that there in that kind of like custard powdery hue, okay? So we've got spring onion. We're just slicing up some spring onion for this. And some sliced chilies too. You can use bird's eye chilies or you can use big chilies. I'm using a big chili here. Now the sprinkling with the seafood stock thing is again completely optional, okay? I happen to have a lot of seafood stock on hand all the time because what I do is I crush all my prawn shells and prawn heads. I fry them up and I crush them, and then I store them and use them as a seafood paste. And every time I need some seafood stock, I reconstitute the crushed prawn shells that have been fried up with garlic and some seasoning. I reconstitute it with some water and then strain it out, and that's my seafood stock, okay? And it's great, by the way, for use in noodle soups and just as a soup base. So just tossing this through some tapioca starch. I tend to use tapioca starch more than I use cornstarch, truth be told. But in this particular instance, they're kind of really interchangeable. And if you want, you can use potato starch as well. Here in Australia, though, potato starch is really a lot more expensive than tapioca starch. So I always tend to use tapioca starch unless there's a compelling reason why I would use potato starch. Sometimes there is, but not in this instance, okay? So you want to get the oil up to about like 170 degrees Celsius or so. If you don't have a thermometer, you can just do what the Chinese do. I've got too much oil in here, so I'm just taking some out. You can do what the Chinese do, which is to stick a wooden chopstick into the oil to see how it reacts in the oil. If it starts like producing bubbles, right? You want the bubbles to be like somewhat, you know, active, okay? Not just like the odd little pop there sort of thing, but if it bubbles fairly vigorously, you know the oil is ready. If it bubbles too much, you know it's too hot, okay? But if it's too hot, all you have to do is just add some cold oil into it just to even out the temperature, unless you want to sit around and wait for it to cool back down, okay? So you just want to fry these up like fairly briskly, okay? Don't try and stir it up too much, otherwise you might have things just kind of fall apart in the oil. And just as a heads up, this pineapple cut squid, I actually bought it pre-cut, okay? And I know this sounds a little bit weird, but I bought this for my business before COVID hit. Because I used to use this. I mean, if you're running a business where you have to cook a lot of food, right, you don't have time to be like cleaning squid tubes and then cutting them up yourself. Because I actually, when I was selling char kway teow, I used to add some of this in my char kway teow. And you can actually buy these frozen, pre-cut, pineapple cut squid, okay? And it's called pineapple cut because of the pattern. You know, I'll show you one day how to cut the pattern yourself. But this is all pre-cut for you, and it's all curled up into like little tubes sort of things, which look like little pineapples, okay? And obviously the more common way to cut pineapple, the more common way to cut squid here in Australia is to cut them into rings, okay, which is doable as well. But the Chinese, the Asians generally are more familiar with cutting squid this way. So again, you just want to fry it briskly. When they float up, they're pretty much done. You just take them out. So if you want to look for these pineapple cut squid pieces, right, next time you go shopping at your Asian grocery store, have a look in the freezer section, you might find them, okay? Here in Sydney, I find them pretty easily. Okay, so the next step we want is to actually, first of all, you remove the rest of the oil, leave a little bit in the wok, and you want lots of garlic, okay? You want minced fresh garlic, and we're going to fry it up. And we've got the chilies, we've got the spring onion, we've got the squid, and then we want some salt and pepper. And if you're like me, you like chicken powder, maybe some chicken powder too, okay? So you just want to sizzle the garlic till it's aromatic, and just be careful that you don't burn the garlic. So I use chicken powder. A little bit of salt. A little bit of sugar. You can skip this sugar, by the way, especially if you've got seafood that's really like fresh and flavoursome. This is like frozen squid pieces, you know, and they need all the help they can get to bring out the flavour. Okay, and then finally in goes the spring onion. And if you like 5-spice powder, I tend to be very, very light-handed with 5-spice powder. You can sprinkle a little bit over it, okay? I don't like it to be overwhelmingly noticeable in there. But like I said, there are some Chinese chefs, okay? So that's the salt and sugar and 5-spice powder that I've made in the past, okay? So what you do is you roast some salt in a dry pan until it browns up a little bit or changes color anyway. Then you add like a 50% ratio of sugar and some 5-spice powder, okay? Otherwise, you can just add a sprinkle of 5-spice powder over it, and that's it. That's all you need. So there you go. Pretty simple, very, very quick to pull together, and you can use all kinds of seafood for this, okay? And even fish, actually, you can actually fry the fish separately and then place it on a platter and then sprinkle the garlic, chili, spring onion crisp over it, okay? There you go, give it a shot. Let me know how it turns out, and 恭喜發財. Okay, so what do you think?
I think it's cool. Like, it's nice, simple, and I'm pretty sure it's tasty. I'm a big fan of squid, so for me, cool. Yeah, I love to just like learn how to cut it though. That would be
cool. It's really easy. You're gonna cut it at an angle sort of thing, and then cut it again this way. But yeah, guys, if you want the recipes to these sessions, don't forget to sign up, malaysianchefs.com/join today. We'll send them out to you directly into your inbox, okay? And you'll stay updated with all the stuff that we get up to as well. So this dish I actually took to my family's Chinese New Year's Eve dinner last night. I mean, we did it a day early because it was Sunday, and here in Australia you don't get a special public holiday like you do in Malaysia, you know. So we had our Chinese New Year's Eve dinner last night, and I took it there, and they all thought it was bought from a restaurant because, well, yeah, it's something that's very, very, it's the sort of stuff that you would actually just order at the restaurant, but which you can actually make very, very easily at home, and it's easy to impress your guests with it as well. All right, so give it a shot and let us know how yours turns out. So let's bring on our one half of our double trouble, Lisa Yo. Let's say hello, madam.
Hi. Part of my double trouble. My other double is probably at home right now, waiting for her slot to come on.
Oh, she said that she couldn't join. How are you? A long time. Feels like we haven't talked to you for the longest time.
Yeah, I've been really, really busy. Yeah, and it's strange because I'm actually not really working, but I don't know why I'm so busy. So must be I find things to do, and I'm quite busy at the moment. But I've been doing like these cooking classes here in Germany, in Frankfurt.
Cool.
So I'm preparing for my next class. That would be this Saturday, and then 2 weeks later. So
Oh, nice. Cool,
yeah.
cool. So, guys, for those of you who don't know, this is Lisa Yo. She's part of our MOMC at Heart group, and she and Rosita, who's also from based in Germany, they do occasional cooking classes. At where do you do them?
Genuss Academy. It's at Genuss Academy in Frankfurt.
Genuss Academy. So if you're in Frankfurt or plan to go to Frankfurt and you want to learn some Malaysian cooking, look up these two ladies, okay? Also, madam, we are going to be you are not cooking yet. You will be cooking later on, but your
Yes.
sister, Lynn, is going to be joining us in a little bit. So let's see if we've got 1, 2, 3. Paul, would you be able to pull down some of our screens that we don't need anymore in case...
Let's
in
see.
case
I don't
Lynn
want to
has
do.
trouble joining.
Okay, let's see if I can do it without messing anything up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that worked.
Okay, cool.
That worked.
As long as, okay, cool. Okay,
Okay.
got it. It's just we're using StreamYard, guys, and there's a limit to how many people can be in the studio. And we're just waiting for Lin Yo to join us. And Lisa, you sing your sister's praises really highly. And I don't think you're just subjectively biased, because I've seen Lin Yo's cooking and she's
Yes,
a
she
pretty
is.
impressive cook.
She is really, really good. I am not kidding. Every time I go back to Kuala Lumpur, because Lynn is a PR in Kuala Lumpur, yeah. And every time I go back to her place, and I never cook. I always say like, please cook for me. She's really amazing with her food, and I don't know how she does it. I guess it's my mother. You know, you have to put thank you to my mom for that. But she cooks very, very well. Hello, good girl. Oh, I call her Giggle.
You know what? Oh, you know, Lynn, when I watched you cook the last time for for a course, which was our
Yes.
previous marathon, guys, I can pick out the sisterly resemblance, not in your appearance, but in the way you cook, because she was constantly cleaning up, like as she cooked, you know. Because I know Lisa has this obsessive compulsive disorder.
I
My
think,
mom.
Cleaning.
It's really our mom.
yeah, it's our mom.
You know, I mean, like when we cook wrongly, can you imagine at 10 years old, we started to cook, yeah? And then we cook wrongly because we want to go out and play. So, you know what she did? Throw the whole thing away. You have to
Yes,
recook.
you have
And
to
from
recook.
that day, we cried and we never cheat the time. We never cheat anything.
See, make you guys stronger for it.
Yeah, I remember that during our childhood days. Yes.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
very
you
clear.
look like me, yeah?
Huh?
No, you don't
Not
look
at all,
like
right?
it at all. No,
No, I think I look like my Chinese grandmother.
Yeah, she looks like my grandma,
Yeah.
and I look like my father.
Your father, yes.
Okay.
But
Okay,
your father is
interesting.
your father too, okay? My father is your father.
All right.
Well, all right, cool. We're going to line up Lynn's video, and Paul and I will disappear off camera.
Okay.
But I'll let you guys talk a little bit, and then we'll play your video, and then we'll bring you guys back on to wrap up that segment. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's all
yes.
right.
Thank you,
Okay,
Jackie.
cool.
Thank you,
So-
Paul.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dah,
Girl,
dah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
Start,
remember
tak
those
nampak.
days
Ah.
when we had our reunion dinner with Akong?
I remember, man.
Man, the kind of food that they
Hey,
give
we're
us.
having reunion. We're having reunion dinner today.
Man, what are you guys gonna eat?
Steamboat. Mommy cooked
Wow.
steamboat. I
I'm
just
so jealous.
yeah, steamboat. Then I just got back. I went to mommy's house because I need to settle Papa's VTL flight.
Anyway, okay, there we go. Your video. I want to see how you make the chili cry. Is it the same as Mama taught us or not?
Oh, okay. Yes, it's the same.
Everyone, it's me,
Yeah.
Lin Yo, and today I will be doing for Chinese New Year recipe. It's nice to actually have this recipe during your Chinese New Year reunion or for Chinese New Year Day itself. Let's take a look. Today I'll be cooking chili crab. Okay, come. Let's take a look at the recipe. Okay. What we'll have today, I'm using 30 pieces of chili kering, okay, 1 medium red onion, 3 shallots, and this one is about 1.5 thumb size of ginger, and also garlic, 8 garlic. And then the special about today's recipe for chili crab will be, I'll be using 1 beaten egg, vinegar, 2 tablespoons of vinegar, 3 tablespoons of tomato sauce, 2 tablespoons of soya sauce, okay? And you can use dark soya sauce or light soya sauce or kicap manis, and also 1.5 tablespoon of salt. But this one you have to just roughly gauge, because of the soya sauce and the tomato sauce is already quite salty, so just gauge the amount. And I'm using crab. I've already steamed the crab. Okay, I'm using 2 pieces of crab. All right, so come, let's take a look at how I'm gonna do it. Anyway, I have already blended the ingredients for chili crab, onions, ginger, and garlic. So this is how it looks like. All right, okay, so let's begin. I already put in the oil. Just remember that not too much of oil and not too little of oil, so agak-agak. All right, so let's wait for the oil to panas, and we will do this chili crab recipe. For your information, for the chili crab that I'm doing today, I do not use cornstarch because sometimes, you know, some people don't like it to be starchy. The one that you get in the shop most of the time is always very starchy, because they use corn starch, or they use corn flour, or they use, you know, just to make it thicken. But for mine, it has been passed down since generation, since my late Chinese father. This recipe has been passed down to us until today, and this is one of the delicious meal, I shall say. It's really nice during Chinese New Year. And actually, if you want to use crab, you've got to choose a proper crab. They have few types of crabs, but whatever crabs that you like, you can actually use it. For me, I'm using the black crab. They call it like ketam batu or something like that, because the flower crab is smaller, and that one is actually nicer for lemak chili tadi. Okay, so alright, the oil dah panas. Perhaps can come nearer. Okay, I'm just gonna tumis all the rencah in. For this recipe, chili crab, I tak pakai what do you call that? I tak pakai serai lah, apa lah semua I tak pakai. Okay, this is from scratch. So sambal dia macam biasa. Okay, just gonna heat it up a little bit. Kasih dia tumis sampai garing, or tumis sampai dia pecah minyak. Okay. And this crab is actually really nice. Berapa banyak crab you want to use? Actually, for 2 crabs, I can get, I mean, of course there's 4 claws, right? So if the claws is too big, you can actually cut into half like what I did. So it's actually easier. And the best is actually to steam the crab before you masak the rencah, because it expedite the whole cooking. Okay, tunggu sampai dia betul-betul garing and pecah minyak. Oh, that sound is the sound of my washing machine. It's almost completed. Okay. Maybe I will just off the light for a while here. Tak nampak lah kalau dia dah garing. again, as usual, I always butcher when I cook my meal. You know, butcher yang baik-baik for those people who eat your meal. Semoga diberikan segala kesihatan di kaki hidup mereka dan memudahkan rezeki dan jauhkanlah dari segala musibah. Amin. Okay. Because one of the reason why I steam my crab dulu is because kadang crab ni bila you nak masukkan kat dalam kuali, dia banyak kan, jadi bila you nak gaul, some of the parts tak dapat, so dia it's not macam takut tak masak all that stuff. Sebab tu I selalu kukus I punya ketam dulu, and you may take a little bit of the ketam juice if you want. Okay, for me I tak pakai the ketam juice. I think macam gini dah cukup, because the ketam itself dah basah and dah keluarkan the juice on its own. Okay. So boleh tak kalau kita tengok kalau dia dah pecah minyak? Okay. So ini macam, okay, ini dah nak start pecah minyak. Remember that chili crab is to be served immediately. Lagi sedap kalau makan kalau kita serve the chili crab right away. Kalau nak tunggu masak and then tunggu malam makan boleh, but you got to panaskan balik and make sure when you panaskan balik the api is kecil. Janganlah api besar, nanti hangus. Okay, so this is raw. I tak pakai chili sauce lah, semua I tak pakai. I cuma pakai tomato sauce. Kalau you tak ada tomato sauce, you can use tomato puree. Okay, just to have that a little bit of masam, but not very masam. Okay, sekarang kita tengok dia dah pecah minyak. Saya kecilkan sikit api dia. Dia dah pecah minyak. Okay, can you see? Dia dah pecah minyak. Okay, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put the chili sauce. Sorry, tomato sauce, bukan chili sauce. I don't use chili sauce. Okay. Okay. If you want, I use 3 tablespoons. Okay, and then I use ketchup. Alright. Okay, so agak-agak lah. Alright, so kita tengok how it looks. Okay, just a little bit of ketchup will be fine. You can actually use 1 tablespoon. Kalau hitam sangat tak cantik. Okay. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of garam in here. This is the garam. My hand is clean. Just a little bit first. Jangan banyak-banyak. Just a little bit and then you will taste it later. Okay. If it's not enough salt, then you just add in more salt. Very fast. Masak ni cepat aja. Sekejap sangat. Okay, mari I rasa sekejap. Dah. Cukup. Maybe a little bit of kicap. Masih habis kicap dia. And lepas tu I tambahkan lagi sikit garam. Sangat banyak sangat lah. Nanti masin sangat. Okay. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Rasa lagi sekali. Perfect. Sedap ya?
Perfect, mate.
Perfect like the crab. Okay. I ni macam kecap, I ni macam rasa macam tawar sikit. Okay, I taruh lagi sikit garam. So this one you agak-agak lah Kalau you suka kurang garam, then you tak payahlah letak garam banyak. Okay, and this is the magic one. That is the vinegar. Okay, you must use vinegar for your ni. This is 2 tablespoon. Dah cukup vinegar dia. Jangan banyak sangat. Pasal kita dah pakai tomato sauce. So vinegar kan masam. Okay. You can smell the vinegar. Oh. Okay. Now. Perfecto. Okay. The next thing that I need to do is I just masukkan ketam kat dalam ni. Masukkan ketam. And gaul lah. Gaul. Okay. Ketam and gaul. Okay. Okay. Alright, kan senang kalau dah masukkan dah steam or rebus the ketam. Okay, so for the last part, maybe boleh nampak tak kalau we come nearer. For the last part, this is 1 egg. The magic is to put 1 tablespoon of water in the egg and then pukul lah. Okay, so bila dia dah macam ini, kita akan masukkan telur. Alright, masukkan telur. Okay, masukkan telur and then kita tutup sekejap and tunggu for about, you count lah, maybe 1 minute like that. Okay, and just to get the whole flavor together. Alright, because this one is almost ready, very fast. Sekejap je dia. Time, let me just get this plate. Siapkan. Okay, alright. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kacau. Nampak tak? Nampak tak? Okay. Sedap kan? Nampak? Ini je, dah. Apa cerita? Sedap kan?
Belanja dia berapa?
That's it. Ketam dia mahal sikit lah ketam kan. Sebab tu better is to beli and then masak sendiri puas hati. Because if you beli kat luar, of course you makan kat luar, chili crab is very expensive. Satu ketam can actually cost you one ketam can actually cost you
$40 I think kat luar.
$40.
Yeah.
You know. Kalau kat luar, makan kat luar lah, mahal sikit lah. Tapi sebab tu I prefer to masak kat rumah, makan ketam kat rumah better. Okay. Just gonna take all this. Memang sedap you, because this one has been like generation, dah bertahun-tahun actually. Okay. Then we're just gonna put the crab here. Then another crab here. Macam diorang tengok each other gitulah. Sekejap Just gonna put the sauce. Okay. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask my hubby to rasa this. Okay. Right. Just to cantikkan dia, taruhlah daun-daun, all that. Okay. So This is my chili crab. Okay. Perhaps can come nearer and take a shot of this photo. Alright, this is my chili crab. Taruhlah daun-daun ni ke just for presentation wise, nampak lagi cantik and selera. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna try and I'm gonna ask my husband to rasa the chili crab. So dia rasa sedap ke tak, macam mana. Okay, I'm gonna take one part yang senang for him to rasa. Okay, just okay. You may rasa now.
Katakan.
Rasa. Sedap.
Do you know that there's actually there's apa? Egg
Yeah.
and collagen.
Yes,
And-
they use egg actually. How? Do you like it?
Yeah.
Like it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Tinggal
Nice.
lagi good.
Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed the recipe. Try this at home. It's definitely worth it and way cheaper than dekat kedai. Alright, thank you. Happy Chinese New Year and look out for more on MOMC for more recipes. Bye!
You know, I actually have not looked at your video, even though I have access to look at it, but I have not looked at it. And girl, my God, I miss it.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
like-
Isn't that? It's like our family
Always
recipe.
like that. I
Yes, it
know,
has
I
always been
know.
like that.
Oh
Yeah,
my God, it
but
looks so good.
on the ingredients part for the vinegar, actually, it's actually my error because it's supposed to be 1 tablespoon. I mentioned 2 tablespoons. Actually, 1 tablespoon, and it's
Yeah,
not
because I
2.
was wondering there's too much vinegar then.
Yes, it's actually 1 tablespoon. You know, it's a slip of a tongue.
Oh.
Because there's ketchup and then there's tomato sauce. So I think 1 tablespoon is just enough for 2 crabs. That means they use mud crab. Okay. If they use the flower crab, dia kecil and it's not much of isi kat dalam. So it's better to use mud crab.
Living in Frankfurt, to be very honest, it's difficult for me to get mud crab, right? So recently I was at this really, really nice supermarket here, fish supermarket in Frankfurt. It's called Buhara. Anyways, I found live blue crabs. Live.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I have no idea whether there's enough meat or not inside it, but I said like I have to so buy it, and I bought it and I made chili crab.
Wow. Is it still moving when you bought it?
Yes, it was alive, and
Okay.
Frank was going like, "How are you going to kill the crab? You are a
Yeah.
murderer." I
You know,
said,
when
"Yes, I'm the murderer. You are the eater."
You know, when I bought the crab, I bought it in one of the supermarket here. It was still crawling, and I actually dare not take the crab. I have to ask Zul to actually help me out. So can you please take for me these 2 crabs because it's still moving, you know?
Yeah.
So of course we managed to get the crab. Then definitely I'm not gonna cut it. So I told the guy, I said, can you please help me to just cut the crab because I dare not do it at home. I know how to cook, but I don't want to cut the crab while it's still crawling.
The crabs that I had, it was like really moving, and then I had to turn it upside down.
Yeah,
and then I had
man.
to use a chopstick. The chopstick doesn't work, so I put in a knife through, and
Oh, it still is moving.
yeah.
It's still moving. Yes, yes. You know why?
And I have to
Because
use like a big, like you know, the hand thingy, the one that for the hot thing that you carry, right? I don't know what it's
yes,
called. To hold it so that it doesn't accidentally bite me. Lucky the claws are still there. So I had to break the claws first and like,
oh my God. You know what?
look
Okay.
at me and say like, you're really a murderer.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I didn't want to do it at home because it's still crawling and it's still moving. Do you know what happened? I brought the crab back home, right? After they
Yeah.
have already cut it and all. So when I was doing the washing, do you know that even though it has been split, the body has been split, it's still moving, you know?
Yes, yes.
I was like, oh my God, should I just wait for a while, you know?
And knowing
Then I was
you
like-
will freak out for a while.
I was freaked out. And then I just had to say something to the crab. I'm so sorry, crab. I have to cook you today, okay?
Do you use a toothbrush to clean the crab?
Yes, I did.
You
Yes,
didn't
because it's
mention,
mud.
yeah, that's right.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
muddy. But flower crab, actually, you don't really need to use that.
I
You
still
know?
use toothbrush, yeah, to clean the crab, because in between the legs, you want to get
Yeah,
rid
because they
of
have all the
black
yes,
mud.
all the black marks.
Yeah,
Ah.
so for the
Dia
viewers
macam
out
cuci
there,
gigi, dia macam cuci gigi lah, kena cuci bersih-bersih. Tapi janganlah ambil berus gigi yang kita pakai, dah cuci gigi, pakai the
This is
clean
just
one lah. The
one
clean
for
one.
the kitchen. So you always like use a toothbrush to
Ah.
clean your crab. Yeah.
But I
don't
like
put
it.
Colgate.
I like it when I had to say to the guy in the supermarket, can you please cut the crab? Then he was like looking at me, was like, what? I said, can you just cut the crab?
You guys.
Jackie, do you use toothbrush to clean your crab?
No, never. I've
My
never.
crab, you know, when I wash it, after everything, I clean every part of the crab with toothbrush.
That's your
Because of the
OCD.
mud. No,
Your
because of
OCD
the
coming
mud.
through.
There's a lot of mud there. You want
So
to
you
do
use toothbrush.
Maybe we Australian crab or cleaner. Maybe I don't know. I've never.
Yeah, maybe.
I've never-
Don't play in the
Yeah.
mud. Australian crab only got mud.
But
All right,
okay.
guys.
Well, basically,
yeah.
that is how the chili crab looks like from our side, from my side.
It looks delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's simple.
And you
it's
can use the same. You can use the same recipe for prawns as well. For
Yes,
those of you who
exactly.
are scared
For
about
any seafood.
crab, you know. Yeah,
for
exactly,
any seafood.
exactly.
Yeah. It will
Yeah.
it will be perfect. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, make sure you sign up for our email list, right? MalaysianChefs.com/join today. We'll send you Lynn's recipe into your
Thank
inbox
you.
directly when it's ready, along with all the recipes from this series. Okay. So
All right.
guys, we are going to go to Rosita's pre-recorded segment on Yisang. Yisang is like the
Yisang.
biggest thing for Chinese in Malaysia and Singapore, right? Chinese New Year is, kind of like synonymous with eating Yisang, right? So we're going to play that, and she is with her friend Michelle. Do you know Michelle, Lisa? Or
Yeah. Michelle loves to eat, and Michelle is also a wonderful cook. And she is one person that she and Rosita has bottomless tummy. She can eat and eat and eat.
Okay, cool.
All right. Thank you
let's
very
find
much.
out, guys. Yeah, thank you so much again, Lynn, and thanks.
Thank you.
Lisa will be
Happy
joining us
birthday,
again in a
Lisa.
little bit. Yeah.
Happy
Lisa's
Chinese
going to
New
be
Year,
doing
all.
something.
Kongsi pacaran.
Yeah.
Kongsi pacar, have a blessed Chinese New Year.
Kongsi pasai. Okay. See you guys. Okay, so let's bring on Rosita's pre-recorded segment with her friend Michelle and also with Laura. For those of you who have followed MOMC for a little bit, you will recognize Laura up in the back for her love of Malaysian
Durian
cuisine,
lover.
King durian. Yeah, and for those of you who are who love durian, comment in the comment chat box and let me know, because I want to talk to you if you love durian, because we're going to be doing some exciting things with durian over the next few months. Okay, so yeah, Paul, Yisang, I haven't checked out this video. So this is again Malaysians based in Germany making Yisang, which I'm told actually originated from my hometown of Seremban. Who would have thunk it, right? So yeah, Paul, anything that we should know ahead of time about this particular video before we play it?
I don't know. It was pretty cool. And
Okay.
it's nice with
Since-
like all the different people on camera, and they're doing their like
Cool.
Yisang tossing and everything.
Cool. And for those of you who are just joining us now, I mentioned previously as well, Chinese New Year dishes they all symbolize stuff. Okay, we're just not just kind of like, oh, let's have Chinese New Year dinner and we're going to cook char kway teow, we're going to cook laksa. No, right? If you're being a traditionalist, like I kind of am, you eat dishes that symbolize everything associated with Chinese New Year. And Yisang, every single thing that goes into a raw fish salad means something. Okay, they mean like prosperity, they mean good luck, they mean like youth and like rejuvenation and all that sort of stuff. But have a look.
Cool. Here it is.
Hi, I'm Rosita Hailek.
I'm Michelle Chan.
Hi, I'm Laura.
Hi, today we're going to show you how we are making Yisang. And what Yisang is about and why is it important, Michelle will be telling you after this.
So why do we do Yisang? Or what is Yisang? Yisang is a super popular dish that the Chinese typically do to celebrate Chinese New Year. We eat it from the first day of Chinese New Year till the 15th day of Chinese New Year. The more you eat, the better, because you know it brings luck. It brings abundance. It brings vigor. So anything lucky, that's the reason why we eat it. Yisang is popular in Malaysia and Singapore, and the ingredients to make it are mostly vegetables that are super colorful. There are 7 ingredients because 7 here is a lucky number for Yisang. So we have white turnip, we have iceberg salad, we have carrots, bell pepper, red cabbage, white cabbage, cucumber. And then for the crunchy effect, we have spring roll, which later on we would slice it thinly. And we also have the wonton skins, which we will also then, slice it thinly. Next is the garnish. We have our coriander, sesame seed, peanuts, and lime. And then we also have our sauce, which is very important. We have our sesame oil, honey. We have the 5-spice powder, hoisin sauce, and plum sauce. And of course, the daddy of all ingredients is the salmon. So that will be coming in later. The rest of the ingredients that we were just talking about, which are the vegetables, that we will chop or slice finely, julienne it. And then of course, we will also cut the crispy ingredients into slices, thinly slices, and then deep frying it. So we'll see it later on. So this is how we're going to julienne the carrots. Cut it thinly until this like a matchstick. So we have a few of it.
Yeah, and we do basically the same thing with the cucumber. Sticks like that. Also make sure it's super thin. And then put it together and collect it.
So this is the making of the sauce. We will put 1/3 cup of hoisin sauce, 1/3 cup of plum sauce. That's the plum sauce. Two tablespoons of honey, because the sauce has to be sweet and tangy. So that's why we're doing all this with honey and also savory. And we add 2 tablespoons of water and 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. That's 1 tablespoon. This anyway, I like sesame oil, so there you go. And what we do is we will heat all this and mix it together. Okay, so see, we've already mixed all the ingredients together. Just put it on low fire to mix all the sauces together until it's nice and sticky, and then we're ready for the sauce to be placed on top of the salad. Okay, now we're ready to deep fry the dumpling wrappers. just a short while until you see it's nice and crispy. And that's done. Okay, here's the prepared Yisang vegetables. That's peanuts, fried spring roll skin, that's our fresh salmon, that's the wonton wrapper, and the sauce. This will be mixed later on after this, and then we will enjoy the Yisang together. Hi, here we are. We're back here with the julienne vegetables that we prepared earlier. We are here at Madame May restaurant, which is one of the best Chinese Cantonese restaurant in the heart of Frankfurt. And with me today are my friends, Claude, Laura, Michelle, and Ismail. So we're going to do the losang together.
So now we have all the vegetables ready. We're going to put the salmon in, followed by the crunchy parts. And then we have our sesame seeds, as well as the spice powder, putting it in. And the finale would be the sauces. So come on, let's do it together.
Wow, that looks yummy. And this is very nice salmon. This has to be fresh and sashimi grade.
A little bit of parsley is
salmon.
okay?
That's
Yeah, we'll-
fine. Nice color. Wow.
This is teamwork.
Yes. Okay, what next, Michelle?
All right, are we
this
ready
one is
with
still
all the
alive.
salmon? Still alive, all right. And now we are going to put all the crunchy parts on top, sprinkle it.
So that's the spring roll, which spring roll wrapper that's been deep fried, wonton wrapper that's been deep fried,
All right.
and peanuts.
Okay, and then we have our sesame seed that I'm going to sprinkle.
Lovely. And a little bit of the five spice powder. Not much, just to give it a bit of.
Come on, get up.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, just a little bit.
And then the bit of the lime spread around. Okay.
Okay,
All right, Laura, I give you one.
and that's for you.
Okay. All right, so we're going to spread it around this way. Yeah.
Fabulous.
That looks yummy.
All right. All right, now it comes the moment of truth, which is the tossing of the yisang, or they call it lo yisang. So the idea is that the higher you toss, the more luck you would get. While you toss, you should say whatever you wish for that year, so that it would come true. So are we all ready to toss?
Yes.
Very ready.
Let's get started.
Okay.
So ready, go! Prosperity, happiness, rich,
wealth,
wealth, health,
and happiness.
happiness, joy.
Lots of love from
Okay.
Frankfurt. Okay. Wow. That was a mess.
All right. Then
So here we are, we've done the losang, and with that we would like to say thank you for watching, and we wish you happy Chinese New Year and Kongsi Fa Chai.
Okay, that was really cool. I like the big chunky bits of
The sashimi.
of salmon. Yeah, I remember when one time I visited Malaysia and I went to this Chinese restaurant for Yisang, because I rarely go back to Malaysia during Chinese New Year. I wish I went more often, but one year I managed to kind of like just catch it at the cusp, because Yisang, you don't get it year round. It's like Easter, like eggs, you only get it like around that time of the year. So I went and ordered some Yisang from this particular restaurant, and you can barely see the salmon on it. It's like, or the raw fish on it. So I was so disappointed, but this is amazing. Chef Joe saying, wow, that's nice. Yeah, I know, right? It's pretty amazing. I love how even in Germany, they actually still maintain the tradition of eating Yisang. And Maya Jamaluddin says, Gongsi Fa Chai to you and to Sharifa, everyone else tuning in. Guys, don't forget to share this out to everyone who might be interested in learning some Chinese New Year recipes. This is MOMC, Masters of Malaysian Cuisine, and some of our chefs have come together, and we are playing all their cooking demos based around the theme of Chinese New Year dishes. And I hope you try some of these at home, but if you want the recipes, make sure you sign up, all right, at malaysianchefs.com/join today. And Paul's like Dr. Evil with his cats over there. All right, so who have
the sashimi brought Zinzan around.
And we have got Lisa coming up next, and we need to line up Lisa. Can you just give her a shout out to hop on?
Yeah, she's not on screen yet. Okay, let me just send a message.
Yeah, just let her know that we are ready to play Lisa's. Here we go. Speak of the devil. Hey,
Okay,
madam.
yeah.
Okay, so what Chinese New Year dish are you cooking?
Sweet and sour prawns.
Sweet and sour prawns. Yum, 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 yum. Okay,
Yeah,
guys,
but
like I said,
easy one. Don't make my life complicated.
it's actually, I mean, apart from Yisang, which involves a lot of shredding and stuff like that, right? A lot of Chinese New Year dishes are actually pretty quick and easy. I think, like, because you're using seafood, which is the star ingredient, because seafood is kind of like an opulent offering, right? You're not eating like chin chai, like cheap stuff. You're eating like kind of high-end food, which means seafood, and you want the seafood to really shine by cooking it up quickly and not like kind of throwing it in the oven for 3 hours, right? So that works really well. Sharifa says, happy Chinese New Year to all Chinese friends. To Jackie, thank you so much, Sharifa. Happy Chinese New Year,
Sharifa.
Okay, cool. Right, so let's play your video, Lisa. Is there anything that we need to know beforehand?
In this video, in this recipe, I use potato starch or potato flour. So you can skip the potato flour totally if you don't have potato flour. Just use a tapioca flour or tapioca starch. Mix it with just with the normal flour. Sometimes I just use normal flour and don't bother with anything else. It still works anyways. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's let's have a look.
Yep.
Go for it.
Cool. I'll let you line it up.
Okay, that is correct. Okay, ready?
Hello, Gong Fa Chai. I'm Lisa Yo, and today I am going to be making sweet and sour prawns. So let's start quickly. To begin with, I have here potato flour as well as just the normal flour. So I mix an equal portion. It doesn't matter how much. Just put a lot inside because you need to use this for dusting. So throw them into a bag. And here I have already the prawns ready. So I have already cleaned the prawns. Basically, you can see it's cleaned, and then I left the head because I like the head. So, and dry it already. So just throw this also inside the bag. And after that, what you do is close the bag and start shaking. This is to coat the prawns inside here. Now, what we do is we sieve it. Yeah. So, in the meantime, I can now turn on the heat here. And you need to put enough oil. Okay, you need to put enough oil so that you can deep fry, but you can remove the oil later. So, shake it. So this will really coat the prawns. Yeah. Now I'm just going to sieve it here. into this container. So then you don't have excess prawns lying around everywhere. So what you do is you just in here, sieve it. Yeah, so I'm just going to continue sieving it. I put some salt inside it as well when I did that, in the potato and the normal flour. Yeah, so you will see whether the oil is hot enough, or we will check that. Okay. Minute. Always use a chopstick to check. Not yet. It's bubbling a little bit, but so there we go. This is one of my all-time favorite dish when it comes to Chinese New Year. I always like to have it like sweet and sour prawns, and to me it's like, it reminds me really of my childhood. So look, the prawns now, add them in. Don't get scared with the oil, because you need to remove it anyways later. Okay, let's see. This is really, when I was growing up, I totally love having this for Chinese New Year with my family when we have our reunion dinner. Yeah, let's see. Once it's crispy on one side, what you can do is you turn it, yeah? So just try to turn the prawn only once. Don't keep on turning the prawn. Okay. So what are you guys cooking for Chinese New Year? Okay. I would not recommend to take away the prawn heads, because they are the most delicious part. Prawn cooks very fast, so don't get worried. In the meantime, let me show you the rest of the other ingredients. So here we have garlic, ginger, onions, a bit of tomatoes. Here is pineapple, and then some chili curry, and this is coriander for garnishing. Yeah. Okay, it's good enough. There are some people that will not want to coat the prawns first. But I tend to like coating the prawns a little bit with flour, so that I don't know, it just it takes your prawns into a different dimension. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Let's fry the rest of it. Always clean your workspace. Yeah. I'm going to take away some of the oil now, yeah, because we need the oil also for cooking. So just take away some of it out. You don't want your food to end up having so much oil. To me, I don't like too much oil. Okay. Okay, so what we do now is transfer some oil here. Just left a little bit for the cooking. This oil will be great later, you know, if you fry your onions, fry nasi goreng or fried noodles, it will be fantastic. Oopla, it's too high now, the heat. Okay, so we're going to add in the onions, garlic, ginger, and the chili kering. Yeah. Just fry that. Some people do not do put in cashew nut, yeah, for sweet and sour. But I like my sweet and sour to have cashew nut in it. So in this version that I made, I will put in cashew nut. So you can see here. Just fry it until you know everything is completely cooked and it sweat nicely. Watch your heat, yeah. Keep it to medium heat. So here in my induction is number 5. You don't want to burn your your ingredients. Okay. And if you are using cashew nut, and if your cashew nut is not pre-cooked, yeah, so you need to use, then you can fry it right now. But if it's already pre-cooked, you can do it later. But I still like to add it in and fry it. Give it a bit of frying as well. So that. There you go. If only you can smell it. Okay, now I am going to add, here I have 100 ml of tomato sauce, so I'm going to add this in. And this is 50 ml of sweet chili sauce. And 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce. And then mix it. Okay. Just you can add a little bit of water if you want. We're going to do that. Because the sauce does get very, very thick, so add a little bit of water. I lower my heat again. Yeah, so simmer it a little bit. Let me add a little bit more water. Okay. You can see that the sauce is still very thick, yeah, so it's okay. I really do not like the idea of putting in cornstarch into my food because the prawn has already been fried it's coated with flour, so you don't really need to put in all those cornstarch later to thicken your food. Let me try. Wow. Yes, you don't need anything inside here. Maybe a little tiny wee bit of salt. Okay, let me just put a wee bit of salt. The sweet chili sauce will already make it sweet, so you don't have to add extra. But if you do want it sweeter, then you would have to put in like a bit of palm sugar. Here I'm going to throw in the pineapple, which also will contribute to the sweetness. And then I'm going to throw in also tomatoes inside. Yeah. Cook it. Just bring up the heat a little bit. If you find that it's a bit too thick, then just add tiny bit of water. Do not overdo your water. Yeah? Okay. Once it's boiling really nicely like this, it's cooked. We try again. Yes. Now you add in your prawns. Give it a nice stir. Look at that. Somebody here will be very happy, and I know who. Not me. Somebody. I'm going to make it pretty, I'm going to put in some coriander leaves. Yeah, so it gives it a bit of color. And you need to leave some for a bit of garnishing later. Okay. There we go, it's done. You see, it's cooked like in 15 minutes, it's done. Okay. Get the heat off. Now it's time to plate the dish. Just remove everything. Do some plating. Go. A bit of coriander leaf on top. Voila! Sweet and sour prawns. Very easy, isn't it? Enjoy. And once again, Kong Hei Fat Chai, enjoy the year of the tiger. Wow! Bye!
That looks good. That looks really good. I never thought about putting cashew nuts in it, but it's a good idea actually, because
I like
try
it
that next
because
time.
when you eat it, right, you have different texture going in your mouth. Yeah, there's something that you bite and something crunchy, and then the pineapple is a bit like soft and it's juicy. I can see here Sharifa mentioned that her daughter is allergic to nanas. If you don't have nanas, I also use green grapes.
Grapes. Okay, nanas, by the way, is pineapple, guys. So
Yeah, yeah.
Grapes. That I have never heard of that.
Yeah, I use green grapes because if you look at like the Thai, the red curry Thai red curry with the duck, yeah, there's grapes in the dish, and I always love the grapes. So I thought like if they can use that in their curry, I can throw that in this sweet and sour. Because one day I was like I didn't have pineapple and I only had grapes, so I throw in the grapes and it turned out wonderful.
You know, the red curry duck in Australia, they use lychees in it, which could actually also work.
Yeah, this could also work with lychee.
Yeah,
You could put lychee in there, or you could put, if you don't want, you just throw in some capsicum just to give the colors. Doesn't matter, you know. Just use whatever you have in the fridge. Yeah.
I don't know about that, but almost anything.
Thank you once again, Jackie, for giving me this opportunity to do this. And I want to wish everybody Kongsi Fa Chai. May the year of the tiger be very good for us. We're supposed to do a pantun.
Yeah, what happened to your pantun?
Did you do it?
Oh God, you remember the pantun that we came out with? It was on the spot.
No,
Tiger. Oh, I remember, I think. Tiger, shining bright. What did you say?
Burning bright. That's actually from an actual real
Robert Frost.
Okay, I will say shining. Tiger, shining bright. Please make this year very right. With all your vigor and your might, please chase COVID out of my sight.
Nice. Well done. Well done. You should be a rapper, actually. Well done.
Bye-bye, my dear. Thank you so much.
Thank you. No, thank you.
Thank
you. Kongsi Fa Chai. All right, cool. Let's have a look. Now we have got Liam's session lined up, Paul. What's Liam's session?
But we don't have a Liam.
Like? That's okay. That's okay.
Cool.
Yeah, everybody's busy this time of the year. So, what did Liam make, and what can you tell us about it? By the way, I'm asking Paul because he edited all the videos. Okay.
This was the first one I edited, so I'm trying to remember what he did again. It's been a minute. Just give me a second.
It'd be something good. Liam, but for those who don't know, Liam's from the muddledpantry.com. The Muddled Pantry is a food blog, and Liam's a very talented Penangite who is based in South Africa. So Paul, let's bring him on since Paul's getting drawing a mental blank here, and we will come back and talk a little bit about Liam's session in a bit. Okay, enjoy.
So it seems like we're having some sort of technical difficulty.
Well, let's have a look. Let's see if I can load up my version.
Muddle Pantry.
Nope,
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is MOMC's Chinese New Year special broadcast. So what are we guys all doing for you? Well, we are going to be making our favorite Chinese New Year recipes. So what is that for me? That is chicken and plum sauce. Crispy chicken and plum sauce, no less. Oh, it is one of my childhood favorites. I love this dish. It's crispy, it's tangy, it's sweet. Oh, it's so good. So, what are we going to be making? Firstly, we're going to be making the plum sauce. It's a recipe of 3 parts. Plum sauce, then we deep fry chicken, and then we bring it all together into one nice dish. So this is the sauce. Don't worry, I will be making this for you. Don't worry, but I made some the other day, just so you guys can see what we're going to end up with. As you can see, I've used a red plum, one of these, or you could use one of these, which is a yellow plum. Now, if you buy a jar of plum sauce, this is what it tends to use. This is what they use, really. But I'm going to be using these. Great time in South Africa to be making this because it is our plum season, our stone fruit season, as they say. So, how do we make the sauce? Firstly, let me just show you. Let's put this over here. Okay, so just turn this down. You see, we're gonna seed our plum. So all you do is you run your knife through the top and just run it over, a nice and sharp knife, like that. And you just give it a little twist either side, and that's what you end up. Oh, look at the color of that. It's going to be so good. And then obviously the stone inside, you can just pick it out using your fingers, or if it's a little tight, like this one is, you just run your knife around it like that. Okay, so that's how you half a plum. So these are the ones, I'm going to add this to the ones I've did earlier. There you go. So on top of that, what we're going to do is we are going to add our sauce ingredients. So let me just talk you through those quickly. Okay, so we've got white vinegar. It can be plain distilled white vinegar. It can be rice vinegar. It can also be apple cider vinegar, sorry. Some water. So there's half a cup each of those. Half a cup of brown sugar. You got a red onion, a little bit of ginger, some soy sauce, some sesame oil, and for our spices and our flavorings, we've got some 5 spices powder, we've got some salt, white pepper, and chili flakes. So the sauce is really straightforward. All we're going to do is pop that on. Let's get that going. There we are. Not too hot. And we're going to put our plum halves. Again, you don't need to peel them. Just straight into there. We're going to add all these ingredients. Go. We are. Okay. Our sesame oil's going in. Now obviously you need to chop up your onion, which I'll just do whilst that's getting going. Again, you don't have to be too fancy about it. We are going to actually blitz this towards the end so that we end up with a nice smooth consistency. Okay. At the end of that. And then the ginger, I'm just going to grate. Again, if you don't have a grater, just finely chop it, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. Like I said, you are going to be putting this through a food processor later. So any little bits that you have will be pulverized into a nice smooth sauce. So just going to give that a good rub. You're looking for about a good 1 to 2 tablespoons. Okay. I think that should probably do it. About that much. Which I'm just going to pop into there. Okay. Let's put all this aside. Okay. So, let's just get that all mixed up together. Now, obviously, the plums are going to release a lot of liquid as they cook through as well. Okay. So you want to bring that up to a boil. You want to bring that up to a boil and let that simmer for 30 minutes before you blitz it. So whilst that's going, I'm just going to show you quickly what we're going to do with our chicken. So I'm using chicken thighs. There's one thing I have to say. There's lots of different ways you can enjoy this dish. Traditionally, you would have a nice little crispy piece of chicken and you would fold the sauce into it. You could also, which is what I'm planning to do in a couple of days' time when I have some guests, you can also have chicken strips, which you can then dip into the sauce if you would like as well. Not so conventional, but sometimes if you're having a party and you want a little bit of finger food, this is a nice way of doing it. But if you're going to do that, I would use chicken breasts rather, because then you get some nice long chicken fingers, if you know what I mean. Just good for dunking. So I'm using chicken thighs. Let me just grab a chopping board. So I'm using boneless and skinless chicken thighs, like here. And I'm just going to cut these into 4 strips. Again, you want to think about how people will eat the dish, which traditionally would be with chopsticks, and also you want to be able to have like little mouthfuls. So you don't want your chicken pieces too big, okay? Because then it's going to be a bit hard to eat. Okay, let me just... chicken fingers. Okay. So, we're going to flavor the chicken with a few items. Again, nothing much, just to give the chicken meat a little bit of seasoning. So all I've got here is a bit of light soy sauce, and then we're going to also then add in an egg yolk and some potato starch. Now the potato starch is there obviously to crispen it up when it goes into the hot oil. The other way of doing this is that you could season with just a little bit of salt and pepper if you like, or a little bit of soy sauce and salt and pepper. And then actually, ooh, this is getting a bit hot here with my plum sauce. Let me just turn that down a bit. Ooh, let me just show you, it's bubbling away. See already, you want a nice, you want it so it gets to a nice jammy consistency. Okay, there we go. So yes, I was saying, so what you do is, if you want to have a more of a battered chicken, which is perfectly fine and acceptable, what you could do is just season your chicken and then mix some egg, flour, salt, and maybe a little bit bicarb into it. Make up a little batter and then dip your chicken into that before you deep fry it. But I'm going to do it a slightly different way. If you were going to do those little dippers, like I suggested earlier, I would probably do the battered version. So let's just get down there. So again, we're just going to season it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to add a little bit of white pepper too, because I do like a little bit of white pepper. Okay. Spoon. Just lightly mix this all up. Now, you don't really have to leave this for very long. I mean, you can leave it for a little while if you like, but you're not really marinating the meat here. You're just seasoning it. Okay, and we're going to mix in our egg yolk. Now again, the egg yolk's just there to bind the flour to it. Now, I haven't used a whole egg, simply because that will actually make the chicken too wet. And then you're going to end up with a bit of a sludge. Okay, then we're going to add the potato starch. Now, if you don't have potato starch, by all means, use some corn flour or a mixture of plain flour and corn flour. Yeah, but I like potato starch. I don't know, it has a little bit of a novelty factor for me, and yeah, love it. So let's just going to mix this up, okay? Again, just put that down so you can see. Okay, and then before we go on with that, I'm just going to add in my oil. Again, I'm just using plain cooking oil. Now, if you'd like, and if you're going to let this sit for a little while, you could add the oil and the potato starch later on, before you start frying. But it's not really necessary, but sometimes some people feel like they like to get a slightly crispier finish to it. Okay. That's all sorted. Going to put that to one side, and then just give a little bit of wipe. Okay, let's just turn our attention back to our sauce. Now, you'll know when the sauce is ready when the plums collapse under no resistance whatsoever. So literally, if you just push it lightly with your spoon, if the plum just crumples under that pressure, it's perfect. Like I said, it will take about 30 minutes or so to do. Right, what shall I do for you guys next? Right, okay, so 30 minutes. I got an idea. I'm gonna see you guys in a minute. Okay, so whilst our plum sauce is bubbling away, we are going to fry off our chicken quickly. So again, you can deep fry, you can shallow fry. Just make sure that your pan is wide enough so that you don't overcrowd the chicken, or just make sure if you've got a lot of chicken, just make sure you fry it in batches. So again, I'm just using some plain oil. So I'm just going to pour into there. Let me just. Okay. Should be enough. You know what? It's Chinese New Year. Let's be decadent and add a little bit more. So what you're going to want is a slotted spoon to get things out, and a pair of chopsticks, or if you're not so keen on chopsticks, a couple of forks, just to flip over your bits of chicken as they cook. So we want to get that to a medium-high heat. Okay. So here we've got our chicken pieces again. Let's just give that a quick stir through again. Okay, now how do you know when your oil is hot enough? The trick is to put a tip of your chopstick in, and if it sizzles, then you know it's hot enough. At the moment, we've got no sizzle. So we're not quite there yet. So whilst we are waiting for that to heat up, I'm just going to show you a couple of other ingredients. So we're going to top this off with some spring onions, which we've got here, a few little spring onions that we're going to chop up. We've got some ground toasted sesame seeds. And one other thing is, as I said, it's a recipe of 3 parts. So when we cook it up in the wok at the end, we are just going to saute off a little bit of garlic and then add the sauce to it, and then basically fold in the chicken. Which, and then, of course, my favorite part, where they're going to serve it on top of a little bed of lettuce leaves. Now, some people hate this. I love it. I love my lettuce leaves with these things because I like it when the lettuce gets all soaked up in the juices, and it's all that's my favorite bit. So yeah, a little bit too excited about the lettuce. Okay. Ooh, I can see a bit of shimmering. Let's see how we're going. Oh, I think we're getting there. Yeah. Okay. So again, you don't want your oil too hot because you don't want your chicken to brown too quickly and not cook all the way inside, all the way through. So I'm just gonna add our chicken pieces. Again, just making sure we've got enough space between them. Ooh, sugar, that was a bit close. There we go. And one more for luck. Okay. So like I said, you just want to fry these off until they're nice and crispy and golden. So if I just flip one over, you just see there it's got some nice crispiness forming. So. There's nothing quite like the sound of sizzling chicken in a deep fryer. I don't know what it is. It's really, it sounds so good. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to start turning my chicken bits over, just to make sure that they cook evenly. So. Now, what we're going to do as well is, so once these are cooked and nice and golden brown, we're going to drain them, just skim the oil a little bit, bring the oil back up to heat, and just give them one last fry again. That just gives it that slightly extra crispiness. Which, come on, everybody loves that. So I know a lot of people like to drain their deep fried meat onto kitchen roll or Carlton roll. I'm not so keen because I find the roll just gets a bit soggy, and then the chicken's then sitting in that sogginess, which to me defeats the purpose. So I actually prefer just a colander over a bowl that you don't mind getting a bit greasy. And that way, you're not smothering the crispy meat in a wet towel, basically. So, yeah, so I'm not so keen on using the towel method. Okay. Let's give this another turn. See how we're going. So ideally, you're looking for about 4 to 5 minutes for these chicken pieces to cook through completely. Again, if you're not so sure, rather because we're using thigh, you can err on the side of slightly longer if you're a bit worried. If it's chicken breast, it will cook through much quicker. Obviously, dark meat takes a bit longer. So, yes, now let's get these out. Okay, there we go. A little chicken nuggets. Okay. Let's get our second batch going. Go. Again, as you can see, I'm putting them in individually. If you were to just throw the whole lot in at once, which you could do, it tends to all clump together, and then you've got to prise them apart, and it's not as easy. So it's a bit of a faff to put them in individually, but you're going to get a much nicer finish. Side. Okay, so let me just check on our sauce. Let's see what's going on over there. If you just follow me, as you can see, I've put my sauce on over here. Let's get the light on. Okay, so what have we got? We'll see there's still got a bit of give. It's starting to reduce down. As you can see, it's getting really nice and jammy. I think we've probably got about another 10 minutes going there. But if you see some of them already, obviously it depends on how ripe your fruit is as well. Some of them are actually already starting to collapse under no resistance whatsoever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it up a little bit and see if that speeds up the process. So, right, let's check on our chicken again. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's flip these babies over. Okay. Oh, there's always one that doesn't want to flip. There we go. Watch it. Okay, so whilst we're doing that, let's just chop up our garlic. So I've got 2 cloves of garlic here. So I'm just going to finely dice these. So that's the one. Okay. Right. Run a knife through it slightly. Okay, so that's our garlic ready to go, and then we're also just going to take our spring onions that we've got. Just the green parts, the top parts would be fine, and we're just going to finely slice those as well. So, as I said before, we're going to garnish with spring onions and a little bit of toasted sesame seeds that have been ground. Top tip from Jackie that I learned: if you toasted sesame seeds, it's a bit of a fast, to be honest, because you've got to really keep your eye on it. If you buy a bag of sesame seeds, toast the whole thing. Let it cool down and just store it in the cupboard. For the most part, you're only ever going to use toasted sesame seeds. So that way, when you need it for a recipe, it's at hand, it's easy, it's quick, and you don't have to try to think, oh gosh, now I need to do that. Because I'm always burning sesame seeds. It's a bane of my life. So this is a much easier way of doing it. Okay, my chicken's starting to sound a little angry, so that's a good sign. That means it's ready to be turned over one last time. Now don't forget, we're going to double fry this. So let's just get these pieces over. So let's give that a couple of more minutes to go. Oh, so back to the yellow plum. If you use the yellow plum, which is perfectly fine, if this is what you can get, don't use a red onion, rather use a regular brown or white onion. Again, I'm using the red onion because I want to bring in a little bit more color to the dish. If you're using this, rather just stick to a opaque colored onion, a white onion basically. Just in case, because sometimes you can't always get what we've got and vice versa, so you've got to try to find ways around it. Okay. Let's get our chicken out. Okay. There we go. Look at those. Okay. So now, let me just bring this down again. Okay, so I'm just going to skim the oil a little bit. Try to get any large pieces of batter that may have escaped. Not going to throw them away. I'm going to add them to the chicken because they're delicious. I just don't want them to burn at a faster rate than everything else. So I'm just going to bring that up slightly, bring up the heat. Okay, it's plum time. Let's check that out again. Ooh. Yeah, we're getting there. You can really smell the 5-spice powder coming through. There you go. Now, as you can see, it's getting a little jammy. So what I'm probably going to do is add a little splash of water. That's also because I am cooking for you guys, so I'm doing it at much higher heat than I would do ordinarily. Like I said, 30 minutes would be your typical cooking time. So, it's going to add a little splash of water. Again, because I don't want it to burn. But I want to keep that nice jammy sauce feeling. Oh yeah, we're nearly there. plum in a hurry. Plum sauce in a hurry. Okay. So let's just turn that down a bit more because I think it's a little fierce. Okay. I can see my oil is grumbling away. So let's add our chicken pieces back in. I'm just going to try to do this without splashing myself too hard much. Oh, there we go. In fact, I think we're pretty safe. Now, as you may have noticed, this time I just added it all back in at once. Because we cooked the chicken through, all we're really trying to do is to crispen out the outside. So if you've got about four chicken thighs, that's what I'm using, 4 chicken thighs, then you can probably just add it all back in at one time. And we're going for a high-ish heat, because again, we're not cooking it through, we've already done that. We are just crispening it up a little bit more. Okay, let me just turn that down so you guys can see. Oh, it's much cooler down here. Far too hot when you're standing over the stove. And so that way I can actually see what's going on too without sweating. Oh, how golden and delicious does that look? Okay. Right. There we go. Okay, right. That's about all we're going to do. Just going to turn that off for the moment. And then we're just going to get our chicken pieces a little bit of a shake. Right there. Oh, and the last few pieces before I just scrounge around for any nice little crispy bits that may have floated off. Okay, so let's just take this away. Obviously be careful, the handles could be hot. So let's just move that over here. Okay, so let's go back this way. Okay, our sauce is basically done. So let me just move some of these dishes away. So I'm going to be using a hand blender. Hand blenders would be ideal for this because you can actually do it in the pot and it's far less washing up ultimately, which, let's be honest, washing up is not everyone's favorite thing. So, or anybody's favorite thing. Okay, so hand blender. Just going to bring this over here, and I'm just going to take it off the heat and bring this over. Now obviously, please do be careful. It's obviously very hot. It's very jam-like, so it will burn like anything. So I'm just going to give this just want to blend it until it's nice and smooth. Okay. So let's bring that over there. So this is what we end up with. Lovely, very fragrant plum sauce. Oh, yeah, that's the business. Okay. So now, bringing it all together. Let me just bring that back over here. Okay, so what we're going to do, we've got our sauce, we've got our chicken. Now we need a wok. Favorite wok, just for you guys. Okay, so let's bring that up. Now we just want to add a little bit of oil. Once it heats up, obviously. Let's just get that down there. So to hand, what I've got is my garlic. I've got a little bit of water somewhere. What have I done with my water? Okay, let me grab some more water. 1 second. Okay, I've got a little bit of water as well. And I've also got some corn flour, which I'm just going to mix in with a splash of water for a slurry. Because the sauce is quite thick, we're actually going to add a little bit of water to it just to loosen it off, but then we will then add the corn flour slurry back into it, which will then thicken it a little bit as well, which seems odd to do, but trust me, it makes a big difference. Okay, so wok smoking. Don't want it too hot because I don't want to burn my garlic. Okay, and I'll get my plum sauce here as well. Okay, let me just get a ladle so I can get my plum sauce into it. Okay, and we just need one last utensil. Where's my favorite spatula? Okay, my spatula. Okay, so we're just going to add a little bit of oil, not too much. Again, we just want to saute the garlic. Okay. Again, not for long. We don't want the garlic to burn. We just want it to become nice and fragrant. So probably looking about 30 seconds. You can increase the heat. Again, if you're going to be doing this, don't make the wok too hot because you'll burn your garlic. There's a very fine line between golden garlic and burnt garlic, as we all know. Okay, so then I'm going to add in a jolly big ladle full of my sauce, maybe 1.5. Oh. Just get that garlic mixed up with it. There we go. Let's just get that to one side. Oh, not that you can see much with all the steam coming off it. So I'm just going to add a little splash of water. Just so we get a nice bubbly consistency. Now one last little touch that I'm going to do is something I did forget to mention earlier, just the tiniest little drop of dark soy sauce. Literally, that's it. Oh, that's it. That's all we want. You see, I like to add the dark soy sauce at this stage, not when we're making the sauce itself. Just because it's hard to, if too much, you end up with a big dark mess. You just want a little drop of it. Okay. my slurry. Again, I'm not going to add a lot, just a couple of little teaspoons. Again, you just want it to become thick enough that it's going to coat your chicken pieces. So whilst that's just bubbling away, let me get my lettuce leaves. Okay, so there are two ways you could do this. Well, you could, if you wanted to, add the chicken to the sauce, give it all a bit of a toss, throw it on. I like to actually put my chicken pieces on. Oh, hang on, so you can see what I'm doing. I like to actually add my chicken pieces like that. Okay. Then sauce is ready to go. Okay, give it a good scraping. And then I'm going to drizzle the sauce over the top. Oh, look at it. So good. Okay. Then, last little touches are spring onions. Again, don't go too wild. Just a few little for colour and freshness, and then lovely pinch of our toasted sesame seeds. There we go. And there you have it. Chicken and plum sauce. One of my all-time favorites. I hope you guys enjoy it. And yes, happy Chinese New Year, everyone. And all the best. All the best for the new year, and may it be a great one ahead. Take care. Bye.
Okay, that looks it. I've never ever actually seen anyone make plum sauce from scratch, so that's really interesting.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I didn't realize anyone went to the effort, but it looks like it might be worth it.
Yeah. I might have a look out for plums next time I go shopping. All right, now we have Bella. Bella, hey, thanks for waiting. I was messaging Paul in the background. So why did you ask Bella to hop on so soon? So I just wanted to be sure. Sorry about that. How are you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, that's good. I'm just enjoying watching everybody's cooking while waiting for my slot. So
that's very kind. And Nodiana has said, "This will really make me hungry. Thank you for sharing. Looks great. Thank you so much for tuning in." And Nodiana, if you want to cook for us, let us know. All right, I've got a feeling you're a pretty awesome cook yourself. Same with Jack Bubenheim. If you want to cook for us, we would love to hear from you. And sorry, I'm just about to start coughing. So Bella, what are you making for us?
So I'm going to show my video is I'm making the wonton, the fried wonton with chicken, mincemeat, and prawn. Yeah, it's very nice snack actually. It's not really a main dish, but it's goes well with the rest of the dishes for the Chinese New Year. Yeah.
The I think like wonton can be classified as dumplings. So dumplings are actually a good symbolic dish for Chinese New Year. Look, I'm Chinese, but I don't understand all the symbolisms, but they think you should eat dumplings, you should eat noodles, you should eat all the colorful like red and yellow colored stuff. But this is interesting. I would love to see. By the way, guys, for those of you who don't know, Bella is the founder and owner of Bella Pasticceria in the Netherlands, and she is a very accomplished pastry chef, and she usually does all the beautiful pastries and stuff like that with us. But for a
And
change
cakes
of
Yeah.
and cakes, yeah. But
Yes.
she's doing as a change of pace, she's going to make something Chinese New Year for us.
Yeah.
So let's have a look. Thanks again, Bella.
Okay. Yeah. See you later, Jackie.
See ya. Paul, I'll get you to line up the video.
Jordan.
Hi, greetings from the Netherlands. My name is Salsabila Abbas. Today I'm going to show you how to make fried chicken wonton or fried chicken siumai. Okay? I'm using the wonton pastry. This is for the deep fry. This is frozen. I already defrost it, and then this is kept on the wet cloth to avoid it become very dry. And I have here 500 grams of chicken mincemeat, 100 grams of prawns, some spring onion and ginger, and corn flour, white pepper, sesame oil, and some salt. This is about 1 teaspoon, 1 tablespoon, and this half teaspoon, and it's also half teaspoon. And this is water with a little bit of corn or maizena. This is to seal the edges of the wonton pastry later. Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut the spring onion. Very fine. Okay. And we can only already put inside the mincemeat. And ginger. Can finely chop. Okay. Use the young ginger. Okay. Also put inside. And the prawns. I like the prawn a little bit bigger pieces. It's a bit chunky because I like the taste when I bite it, and then I can still like I can see the bigger pieces of the prawns. But it's up to you. If you want to blend it, it's also fine. There you go. And we put the rest. The corn flour, the salt, white pepper, and the sesame oil. Okay. Mix together. Oh, the smell of the sesame oil really makes a big difference. If you cannot find mincemeat, you cannot buy mincemeat that it is ready minced, you can also put in a blender or the food processor. Okay guys, now the filling is ready. We can start making the chicken siumai. Okay, I'm going to show you. Okay, take 1 piece of the wonton pastry and 1 teaspoon of the filling. water on the edges. And pinch and flatten the wonton. Okay, now we just have to continue making until everything is used up. I'm going to show you one more time. 1 teaspoon, seal with water with corn flour and flatten. Yeah. Okay, we are almost done here. For this recipe, we can get about 35 pieces of chicken siu mai. Yeah? This snack is really great for parties, you know. It's easy to make and very, very delicious. Okay. In the meantime, I already put the oil in the wok, and it's already hot. And used medium fire. We don't want the wonton pastry to be very brown and inside is not cooked. So to avoid that, I use a medium fire. Okay, this is the last one. Okay, now I'm checking the oil whether it's already hot or not. Yeah, it's ready, and now we can already start frying it. Make sure the fire is not so high, medium fire, or else you're going to burn your chicken siu mai, and then you will end up with from outside it's already very brown and the inside is not cooked. But you can also freeze our chicken siu mai and then keep in the freezer for up to 2 months. And yeah, you don't have to defrost. You just put straight into the hot oil. Okay. For the chicken siu mai, normally what we use to eat with what do you call it, the chili sauce. You can buy ready-made or you can make it yourself. Just normally what I do, I'm using the chili sauce for my chicken rice. You know, like chili, ginger, and some sugar, salt, and what do you call it? The vinegar. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to lower the fire. It is getting very fast. Okay, I'm going to try and see if the filling is already cooked inside. I have to check to make sure that it's cooked. Okay, yeah, this is good. Okay, this is the last batch. This is nicely brown. Can you take this out? So, and you can already plate it nicely. Okay, now I already finished plating it. I'm just gonna put some decorations. Just slice the spring onion, put it here. Can also put it here. Okay, this is it. This is what I made today. The chicken siumai, the fried chicken siumai. It's very delicious. I hope you give it a try and see you in the next video. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Bella. That looks delicious.
You're
Yeah, I was I was just messaging Bella behind the scene. It's actually the same filling, but siu mai is usually wrapped in like little cup shape.
Like
so
oh yeah, okay.
yeah. So that's called sui gao. But yeah, I know it sounds very similar, but just so you guys know, but if you're whatever it is you're making, it's the same filling essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's either way, it looks delicious.
But
Thank you
here,
so much for this.
most
Yeah.
people known is as pangsit.
Pangsit, yeah.
Pangsit goreng, because pangsit udang or something, and then the shape, and then they use the same ingredients, the same pastry, and then they call it pangsit. I think it comes from the Indonesian community.
Indonesian, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But
right, yeah.
anyhow, whatever they call it, it's really delicious.
It is, yeah. It's one of my
Nice.
favorites.
Yeah, mine
Yeah.
too. And my entire family, they really love it, you know?
Yeah, very cool. All right, guys, that's an easy one to attempt, by the way, right? It's just chicken mince and prawns, and then
Yeah, yeah.
a couple of other things. I make it quite regularly as well. All right, well, thanks again for that, Bella. And guys, don't forget, if you want this recipe and all our other recipes from the series, you need to sign up, malaysianchefs.com/join today, and we will send them to your inbox directly. Okay. All right. Thanks again, Bella. We'll catch you next time.
Bye-bye.
Ciao. Okay, Paul. So we have one more to go. And what is Elias? Elias, by the way, guys, he can't join us live, but he had pre-recorded his session for us. And Elias Mohammed is a very accomplished Malaysian artist based in the Netherlands. And Elias, as described by our very own chef, Dato Ismail Ahmad of Restaurant Rebung, everything Elias does looks beautiful. Okay, so what is Elias making for us, Paul?
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, before you get into it, I was gonna say the one thing is that it must be because he's an artist that he's got this touch with things. Is I think it's it's in your hands or something. Just the way you see he works with his hands is he's got that like something.
Yeah.
But anyway, so basically, what he's making, if I remember correctly, was a steamed sea bass with shallot and ginger.
Oh, perfect. Because you can't have a Chinese New Year dinner without a whole fish, okay? Eating a whole fish is very, very symbolic in Chinese New Year's meals, okay? So don't forget seafood, whole fish, a lot of like red
Long
and
noodles.
gold colored stuff, long noodles, okay? So let's have a look at what Elias has got lined up for us.
Here we go.
Gong Chai. I'm Elias Muhammad from the Netherlands, and I would like to wish you guys happy Chinese New Year 2022. Lots of prosperity and happiness for you guys. Yeah. So today I'm going to demonstrate how to prepare the sea bars. Sea bars in shallot and ginger sauce. Yeah? It's a very simple recipe. You can make it at home in 10 to 15 minutes. It's very simple. So I'm going to start This is all the ingredients you need. Shallot, garlic, ginger. I like a bit of mushrooms and some lime, just half of a lime. And I'm using carrot as well, one red chili, Chinese Shaoxing sauce, wine, a little bit of, here is gluten-free oyster sauce, and some soy sauce, some olive oil, and also sesame oil, some white pepper, and just a little bit of seasoning. So I'm going to heat up the pan, the wok. I already fill it up with a cup of water. And as you can see, I have scored the C-bars accordingly like this, so it will cook faster. Yeah. I'm going to start with garlic. I will slice it very thinly. We're going to use a lot of this, yeah? Because I'm going to prepare it quite differently than people usually do. I'm just going to put it direct in the wok instead of steaming it. So try to chop it as fine as possible. So half of this, I'm going to use it as a bed, yeah, in the wok, so the fish won't stick to the bottom of the wok. And for the rest here, I'm going to do it later on the top of the fish. And here goes the shallot, also finely sliced. And I'm going to use about half of this as well as a bed, where the fish will lie down on it. Okay, and then just 2 cloves of garlic. Just chuck it there as well, 1 clove and 1 clove on the top. That's it. And then I will add up all the flavor seasoning straight away. Yeah? Just a little bit of salt, the Chinese wine, just about 1 tablespoon, yeah. The fish sauce, also about half tablespoon. Olive oil. And sesame oil, just a few drizzle. White pepper, and just a pinch of seasoning. That was it. And then I will just place the fish here, and then again the rest of the garlic on top of the fish. I like to use a bit of carrot for the colors. And later it will look very nicely. Yeah? Just sprinkle over the fish. Maybe slightly more. Just like that. Not to forget oyster sauce. And just about half of the red pepper. Yeah, this is optional. If you don't like it, you don't have to use it. Yeah, I like a quite tingy taste that comes from the sauce. The scallion, I like to cut it long like this. Just slice it open. So it's all about presentation, yeah? So it will look very nice when you do the presentation, you do the plating later. So as you can see, it starts boiling already. Then I can close it up and just wait for about 10 to 15 minutes, yeah? That's it. I call it 1, 2, 3 steamed fish. So you can prepare this when you don't have so much time to spend in the kitchen, yeah? Here in Amsterdam, it's pretty quiet now, yeah, because they just released the lockdown. It's not completely released, but they make it much easier because the daily infection is still quite high. Yeah? It's about 30,000 cases per day, so it's quite scary to go out there. The weather is quite nice today. It's dry, and it's not so misty like a few days ago, so it's quite pleasant to go outside. The weather is about 8 to 9 degrees outside. So for you guys who watch this video, say hello. Yeah, so please try this recipe. It's really yummy, it's simple, and you can choose any type of fish you like, because I prefer this one. The meat is very tender, and it tastes quite sweet, because this is sweet water fish, yeah? I think, yeah. No, oh sorry, it's not. Pardon my mistake. It's not water fish. I got confused with something else. But for those fish lovers, if you try this simple menu, you'll find out how delicious it is. Yeah. We shall clear up the table a bit so I can do the plating. So when it's about to cook, I will squeeze the lime juice last. Yeah. I like to prepare this when I have guests, because it's for me alone is quite a lot to finish one fish. For this size, you can share with 3 or 4 people, and just combine with few other dishes that goes well with the fish. Yeah. So I'm really curious what other colleagues of mine, other chefs prepare for the Chinese New Year meal. So this is my simple contribution, just to celebrate with you guys. It's always nice because it's been a very long time I had the opportunity to celebrate Chinese New Year with my Chinese friends. Let me check this for a while. It looks quite nice already. I just bring the sauce all over like this so the fish will cook thoroughly. You'll just wait a few minutes more to make sure the is cooked all over inside. Yeah. This is really fun making this dish because it does not require so much effort or energy. You just dump everything in the wok. I know some other people use different method. It's really steaming, but I prefer this method more because all the juice and stays inside the wok. Yeah? It doesn't go anywhere else. So if you guys have any question about this, feel free to call and I can explain. Actually, there's nothing much to explain as I have already shown everything that you need to have to prepare this dish. So we just wait like a few minutes more, then I can do the plating. Okay, so it's really nice to be a part of this cooking marathon process for the Chinese New Year. It is also my pleasure, you know, to share my my own twist in this group. We have a great chef in the group with very creative people, very friendly people, and it's always fun to do the live cooking or, you know, just to share knowledge in food. Let's check again. I don't like to cook it too long. Then the taste of fish will it will sort of it will fall off when you cook it too long. I think this is quite alright already. So I will switch off the fire. And then we'll do the plating. So as you can see, it doesn't stick to the wok because it's already supported by ginger under. And then we will drizzle all the juiciness And then here comes the lime juice. So steamed fish in shallot and garlic sauce is ready. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye bye.
All right, guys. So that was the last of our sessions. Paul, did you learn anything from our Chinese New Year cooking demos?
Yes, I learned a lot. More that I'm just really hungry for all those dishes.
So which one are you going to attempt to make at home?
I mean, honestly, the thing that I want to try the most from Chinese New Year is Yisang, but it's a bit of a laborious process just for 2 people. So,
Yes, yeah.
The thing is,
and it's sweet. By the way, guys, Paul is supposed to be sugar-free. You can't avoid the sugar in Yisang, Paul.
I won't. I'll make an exception. I'm trying to think. Sweet and sour prawns, the salt and pepper squid. I'm trying to think what else. I'm making a whole lot now. Yeah.
Nice. I'd love to see it. Yeah. Let us know how your haluk turns out, and if it's good, take photos and give us the recipe so we can share it with everyone as well. All right, guys.
Okay.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Make sure you sign up at malaysianchefs.com/join today to get your recipe. Nordiyana say, okay, all my faves today. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful Chinese New Year and all the yummy food, and a happy Chinese New Year to you. And to everyone else who tuned in. Thank you guys so much for being a part of our MOMC community. I know everyone's busy this time of the year, so I'm very grateful to all our chefs for taking time out of their day to cook for us. And for those of you who don't know, we have MOMC, which is Masters of Malaysian Cuisine, and we have MOMC at Heart, which is everybody else. Okay, so the original MOMC group was founded by me and Paul Gray, and it consists of number of some of the most elite chefs in the world who specialize in Malaysian cuisine. We're thinking of people like Chef Johari Edrus, Renee Johari, all those people, Debbie Teo, Zaleha Olpin, and all those people. Okay, and MOMC at Heart is people who love cooking, who are very good at cooking, but who may not necessarily cook for a living. Okay, people like Elias Muhammad and all that. So we have a lot of talent in both groups as well. We have about 20 chefs, and we're always looking for more people to join us. So if you like to cook, let us know. I use xylitol and stevia most things. Yeah, whatever. All right, guys. Thanks again. Have a lovely night. Have a lovely rest of the day wherever you are around the world. And again, last call out for our recipes. Sign up at malaysianchefs.com/join today. If you're not already a part of our MOMC community, you get emails from yours truly and about like all the things that are happening in Masters of Malaysian Cuisine. And if you engage with us, we would love to have you cook for us, and we would love to get your recipes so we can publish them in an upcoming issue of our e-magazine as well to share with everyone. Chef Joe, thank you so much for the lovely Kongsi. I wish all the dishes on. That'd be all, I know, right? All right, guys. Thanks again. Have a lovely rest of the day, rest of the night, and we'll see you later. Bye.